This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
We've got a great episode this week. It's the end of the international break. We've got Liverpool United on Sunday. We've got big games for Arsenal, Chelsea as well. And we're obviously going to do a special segment going through the best team in the Premier League, position by position. There's all this chat about Caicedo, Rhys, Haaland, Isak. We'll be going through every position and deciding who our best in each position is in the Premier League. But before we get into the episode, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. All that helps with the algorithm. And for those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. And obviously, views expressed in the podcast are just for entertainment purposes. All jokes don't reflect real opinions unless football related. What are you saying, lads? How's it going? End of the international break. Are you guys also as happy as I am to see some proper football?
Delighted, mate. I didn't watch a single game in the last 2 weeks, which was refreshing.
The only thing I've watched is the highlight. It's the highlight of Saka's. That is literally the only thing that I've seen.
I didn't even know he scored.
Yeah, he binsed it against Wales. Pretty good goal as well. I was at that match. But yeah, it was. Apart from that, the rest of the international break was put your pants. Did you watch any Razor? Or are you also boycotting it?
Not boycotting it. Just been doing better things in my time. I have watched a couple of the highlights though. It's cool though. I like seeing which teams are getting closer to making it to the World Cup, etc. So I haven't been watching the games, but you know, it's got some level of interest, even though not enough to make me watch the games.
It's only the Faroe Islands doing well that caught me off guard. That one. I went to bed. I saw that and I was like, they're on a 3-game win streak. My team are on a 3-game L streak, and I was like, right, I'm done. I'll see you guys the next day.
I mean,
is
Sweden
it Faroe
as well.
or Faroe?
I don't know, but I didn't know they won football matches. I thought they were permanently trash, like Gibraltar or something. Fair play to them, though.
I mean, it is crazy. Yeah, big them up, man. It is crazy. Those are the only kind of things that are interesting, right? During these international breaks, it's the smaller nations overcoming obstacles, or the bigger nations like Sweden being completely shite, or for example, Nigeria, Razor scraping through in the playoffs. Last minute made it.
Hey.
Those are the drama. I'm saying that's a good story, right? We need Nigeria at the World
Cup. Cape Verde.
Yeah, Cape Verde as well. Yeah, exactly. Those are the stories, man. The rest of the stuff's kind of meh, isn't it? Let's be real. But let's get into the Prem stuff then, lads. We've obviously got loads of massive fixtures this week. We'll start off with a big one. Khem's been sending me random tweets, pictures, IG random bits of shit throughout the whole international break. So he's been chomping at the bit for this one, Pause. So we'll start with you, bro. A lot of people have been talking about Slot. Obviously, he's under pressure a little bit. 3 L's in a row. The team's been looking pretty shaky throughout the whole Premier League season, really. Who do you reckon's under more pressure going into this game then?
Amarim. because his job is at risk, whereas they're planning to give Slot an extension. So,
bro, have you not heard Ratcliffe? He's got 3 years, man. He's not under pressure.
Yeah, but you guys, he's the worst manager since we've already discussed it since World War I, World War II, the Crusades, whatever one you want to pick. He's the worst of the bunch. Like, yeah. There's been ceasefires in certain places before you guys have won 2 games in a row with Amarim. So, man, like, why we have the disclaimer. But so yeah, like that. Obviously, we're under pressure because of the expectations. We've spent a lot of money this summer, and we're expected to defend the title. Like Liverpool don't usually spend like this. I know they sold well, and the net spend was obviously good. Yeah, I won't rattle you guys with that any further. But we did break our transfer record twice, and the Premier League transfer record once. So with that in mind, we are expected to. Well, we're not expected to lose 3 games in a row like that, and they haven't really played well. So there's the pressure on us in that regard. I think if we did lose, the pressure ramps up and the expectation for us to defend the title probably does drop, because it would be a shocking, because Man United's results at Anfield over the last decade haven't been very good. I think you only scored when you beat us 2-2. Congratulations, in January. I think that was your first time scoring at Anfield in like 6 or 7 years as well. So you guys obviously aren't expected to really come away with anything from the game based on form over the last, we could say 2-3 years probably. So I think there's pressure on both sides, because usually if you guys, it seems to be whenever we beat you, you sack your manager. I think Jose got booted after we beat you in 2018, and it's pretty much Ten Hag's. It was like the final nail when we beat you 3-0 last year. And who held the 5-0 at home? Like there's been so many
as well.
Yeah, so yeah, he probably started. I think he started the interview where he was crying about leaving. He probably filmed that then. So there's pressure.
We lost to Watford before that. We lost to Watford as well before that. That was the real nail. You guys were just.
They were doing the formalities of like how much the payout will be, because you obviously had to pay out the manager before that and the one before that. But the pressure is, I think there's equal pressure because it's a massive game. The pressure on our overall club and team and our season, yeah, and your manager as well. So I'm going to give it as both, man. I'm playing the fence here. I know, it's annoying, isn't it?
Nah, it's different. I do agree with you, though. I think it's different levels. I think one manager's genuinely under pressure to lose his job and has been performing like absolutely abysmal, and the other manager's just like had his first sticky patch as a manager, right? Like last season went pretty much smoothly as you could ask for. You didn't really even have kind of a dodgy period where you lost a bunch of games in a row. I think only when you got knocked out the Champions League, and even that was like penalties, really. You didn't get battered in any of those games, and went out in the FA Cup, was it to like Plymouth or something like that? You had a couple of slightly ropey games in a row,
but none of them. It was the cup final as well. We lost.
The cup final,
crappy month. All right, I'll go back. I'll be honest. All right. We have more pressure because you're not actually expected to come away with anything. Like I think you would take a draw. So I'll be honest. Like we're actually expected to win the game. So technically, the pressure is on us. I'd like to say you're the form team because you won your last game. We haven't won since last month, since the last international break. So technically, you are the form team. But being realistic, the pressure is on us. We are at home. I will be there in the Cop. So there is big pressure on them to win because I am taking time out of my weekend to go and see them. So big pressure on all of them. Yes.
God, I hope them Sky cameras pan on your face when we're like 4-1 up or something. That'll be amazing. But yeah, Arsenal lads, go on. As the impartials on this one, although I guess you probably hate us more than Liverpool, but I think there's a bit of a hatred building with you guys in Liverpool as well. What do you guys see with this match? And you kind of agree with that analysis of the pressure being on both, or do you reckon it's pretty clear that Amrim's the one who's most in danger? Arsenal lads, want to chirp up?
I'll go first then. I think there is pressure on both. I feel like, from my point of view, as long as Amorim doesn't get palmed like 5-6-7-0, you know, he's good. You know what I mean, in terms of the fact that like no one's really expecting him to come out of the game with anything, right? I can imagine most Man United fans are predicting a loss, or at least the ones that are not delusional or like coping. So if you think about it like that, as long as he gets out of there without without getting absolutely bad, I feel like for the most part, people are just going to say, yeah, this is Amorim. This is what we expect. Liverpool are a much better team than us, and move on. But for Liverpool, I feel like it's more uncharted territory, right? For Man United fans, it's charted territory to get battered by Liverpool. Liverpool, it's not charted territory for them to lose or, not do well in 4 games in a row. So from my point of view, there's more pressure on, if I have to choose between the two managers, there's more pressure on Slot because he's in uncharted waters. Amorim's waters are disgusting. He's in a swamp. It doesn't get much worse, right? When you lose to Grimsby, when you lose to a man like that, how much worse can it get if Liverpool beat you 4-1 or 3-0 or whatever? Like, can't that much worse because Liverpool are a really good team. So I actually think there's more pressure on Slot than there is on Amorim, just because expectation level, right? Like the expectation level for Slot's high, expectation level for Amorim is on the floor. So, and this is not a bias of like Liverpool must or they've got to win the quadruple or anything else like that, but like 4 games in a row, on top of the fact that you're not playing very well, that's some pressure that Baldy's got to deal with.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. What are you saying, Razor? Before we get to predictions, do you agree, or have you got a different point of view on it?
No, to be honest, I broadly agree, but I think they're both right. Because funnily enough, like it would have been easier for those two to say that they agreed with each other, but we're not going to get that, are we? But yeah, I think you're both right in the sense that there is a sense of pressure that's on Slot that is a bit different. But I think when we look at losing the game, this is like saying you've lost some bread in it. And it's like, if you've got a lot of money, losing 5 bills, it's not ideal, but you can probably firm it. Do you know what I mean? If you haven't got a lot of money, losing £5 might feel like losing 5 bills. Do you know what I'm saying? So the pressure is the same for both of them, but they're in different places, isn't it? Arguably, you could say one, when they talk about like the wolf and the fox or the wolf and the rabbit or whatever, one man's running for his dinner, the other man's running for his life, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, ultimately, it's pressure, but there's pressure with every game in the Prem. There's pressure with every game when you're managing a club of the size of both of these clubs, you know what I'm saying? So both of them got to win. It's a must-win game for both of them. That's what makes it the biggest game of the weekend, I think, innit? The pressure is there for everyone. I think there's pressure on players, pressure on the clubs, pressure on the managers. And I'm excited to hopefully watch. I would like the pressure to eat everyone alive. I would like everyone to fail and be sad as much as possible. That would make me very happy.
Yeah, and we can insert Io's line that he always says, there's nothing that makes Arsenal man more happy than seeing us struggle. I'm just going to throw it in there since he's not on the episode, because I know that's how you guys feel. But no, also, so I read something really interesting this week, which was saying that basically United and Liverpool, apart from I think one season, the classic Rafa season, the facts and all that, where it was United top and Liverpool second, there hasn't really been a season in our lifetimes anyway where both teams have been competing. It's always been one team's, doing really well, title challenges, and then the others kind of struggling a bit.
Pretty much, yeah. I think
it's just that one season, isn't it?
You said our lifetime, technically our lifetimes, but like most of us won't remember. I think one of the seasons where Newcastle came second, I think they were kind of up there. It might have been 97. Technically, there's not many.
You guys weren't in there. You guys weren't in there then. It was Newcastle were 13 points clear of us, and we caught them up. And you may have come second.
Might have been the year before.
Did that seed? Yeah, maybe.
We probably fell off early though. I probably fell off by Feb, but I think it's not many. It's not many.
But there hasn't been a time when both of us have actually got legit, really good teams properly going for it. It's always been like one of us has been doing really well, and one of us is struggling. And right now is the time for us to obviously really struggle, and you guys are doing really, really well under Klopp and now Slot. So it's interesting, man. Hopefully there'll be a day where we're both competing and we can slap you up like we did when I was growing up. But yeah, let's get into the predictions then. I'll start with Io. Io went for 2-1 Liverpool, because he's still top of the table, by the way, with 28 points and 5 correct scores. Khem, you've got the same points, but 4 correct scores. So what's your prediction on this one? You can go next.
I went 2-1. I expect a dub because I'm there. And but I think we still will leak a dumb goal, but we'll get the win. And thankfully, we won't batter them, so Amarim stays safe. So everybody wins. Apart from you.
Right, yeah. Yeah, of course. Apart from us. Razor, what's your prediction, bro? You're third in the table, 27 points, 4 correct scores. What's your prediction?
I like that. I actually went 2-1 Liverpool as well. I think it's going to be a cagey game. So, yeah, I was tempted to go 3-1 with a little Man United like full meltdown in the second half. But, yeah, I have a little bit of faith in you, man. Innit? Hold tight, you, man. Innit?
I mean, it's quite a common scoreline. A lot of people have gone 2-1, to be fair. Jonty, you're fourth, or has he disappeared now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has he bounced? All right, let me get man's score up. I've gone 2-2. No, sorry, I've gone 3-2 Liverpool. So yeah, I'm going for a tight Liverpool win, but I just can't. As much as we're rubbish, man, I do think their defense, your defense, Khem, is leaky enough that I feel like we're gonna get a chance to score a couple goals.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, let's see. Jonty's also gone Liverpool 2, United 1, and Rhys has also, well, he's gone 3-0 Liverpool, so he's gone a bit more of a slapping. The one thing I will say is also, last thing on this game before we move on to the Arsenal game, is that I do think the international break has come at a decent time for you lot as well, considering the form you've been in.
I was so happy, man.
But I mean, it's come at a bad time for us because we had a similar thing with City, and that's why I was chatting all that grease about City being rubbish before. And then the international break came, and yeah, they absolutely pammed us, and it brought me down to earth. So yeah, hopefully it's not the same this time.
I'll say a quick one on that, where you guys are right to say pressure's on Onslaught, and I agree from the earlier pods at the beginning of the season. He has been backed heavily because all our players actually had like a really good international break, apart from Isak, because Sweden just sucked, like both the strikers, the whole team terrible. They want Graham Potter, but all the other players actually had like individually good games, and some of them like 2 games because they might have been rested in the other. So it's definitely a system thing because they're not shit. Clearly, it's proven. Even McAllister he scored twice. So yeah, it's down to the manager. The pressure is actually definitely on him. So I'll be honest, I'm objective. I get accused, I'm not, but I can.
Well, for once. All right, let's go on to the Fulham Arsenal game. Yeah, man, big game. Obviously, you're playing before the Liverpool United match as well. So you got a chance to open up a bit of a lead. We'll start with you, Razor. Do you think you guys can get a good result at Craven Cottage? Because it's been a bit of a tricky ground for you guys in the past.
Yeah, it has been. But to be honest, Arsenal this season, we're looking like solid. I'm yet to see like a game where we've looked like out of it or looked like we've got nothing else left in the toolbox. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel confident ahead of games. I think even like the Liverpool game that we lost, like we felt quite confident ahead of it. And I think after like the head loss had evaporated from certain man, like there was confidence afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just, I feel strongly about our chances. I'm interested to see what the squad rotation looks like. I think we've talked a lot about the midfield sort of partnerships that Arteta wants to use this season for different games. And I think his hand may have been forced a little bit in the sense that, like, you know, we've got injuries in there, coming back from the international break. We've got Champions League to think about. So I'm interested to see how he builds the midfield. And at the risk of sounding like Lana, I'm hoping that he's going to keep it creative and kind of, you know, provide like an opportunity for Eze to step up in Odegaard's absence and like resist the Arteta urge to play Norgard and Marino together or whatever. But yeah, I feel positive about it.
Yeah, man, I think that's a good possibility though. Let's be honest. Obviously, Odegaard's out for a little while now with this MCL injury that he picked up. So logically, it makes sense to just shift Eze into that position, maybe bring Zubimendi back in and play that Rhys, Eze and Zubimendi midfield. But I think the risk's always there, again, to echo something Lana always gets so mad about, that he brings in Marino. Marino scored, right, during the international break. He's still cooking along nicely, and he does have an impact on your team. So I guess it's possible. But I do think this game might be another one of those ones like the West Ham game the other week where it's worth him going for it a bit more, even if it is a dodgy ground for you guys. I still think, Fulham haven't been playing that well this season. They've been all right, but I think you can go for them. And I think your defense is strong enough to get something. What do you think, Khem? Obviously, you guys are going to be watching that game keenly. Obviously, kicking off the day before our game. How do you think it's going to go? And do you think Arteta will be positive?
Oh, man. The hater in me wants to just be like, come on, obviously. But who's your Champions League game? Sorry, Ray, I actually forgot who your Champions League game.
Atletico at home.
At home. I think he'll balance it out well. I don't think he'll be too cagey in this game, but I think he'll want to keep certain players fresh for the midweek game. So because it's away from home, I believe you're the late kickoff as well. So obviously, rowdy crowd, your local area, Ray. So local lad, but I don't think Arteta will be too cagey because you're going to want to they're a weaker team. They're going to be predominantly defending most of the match. They won't have a lot of possession, so you can afford to take a bit more risk in the midfield, in my opinion, and just be careful in transition. But in terms of minutes, is where I think he'll play around a bit with certain players. Your ideal match will be obviously to get an early goal from a corner and then hang in there. Couple of penalty appeals that you blame the refs and PGMOL for, blah, blah, blah. And then get a deflected goal later on, 2-0 win, on to the next one. AO still hates something from the match. So that's how it will go in my head, in my heart, is that, we're not doing predictions yet. But I do think that Arteta will balance it out. I don't think he can afford to, especially with Odegaard's issues right now. I don't think he can afford to play too many minutes for certain players for this game and the next game. So I think he'll rotate accordingly and play it smart. And they invested in the team for that very reason, which the supporters have obviously wanted as well. Obviously, I know you've lost Madueke as well, which is really unlucky for those two players. So I think he can't afford to. I don't expect any of your key guys to get 90 minutes unless you are chasing the game, which would be great. But I don't think that would be in his plans. To answer your question, really. Again, I'm objective. No. I'm nice.
You say that after you've dropped about 5 subs in there and a little digs and all kinds of stuff. Just looking at Rhys' reactions to them, you can tell. But no, I mean, I kind of agree with some of the things that you said, though. He does have to juggle it. It is quite harsh that the next game is Atleti, and I think I looked at City's fixture. They've got Villarreal or someone quite weak afterwards, and that Champions League midweek does kind of dictate a little bit in terms of what you do with the squad on the weekend. So it's quite a tough double header. Fulham away and Atleti at home. They pushed you guys, didn't they, Khem? Already in Champions League, you got last minute 3-2 win. So they're difficult fixtures, man. But yeah, I do think Arsenal should have enough in the tank to get over the line, even with a few injuries. I think your squad's just too strong, man. Especially right now, anyway, while you've got the majority of it fit. If you get an injury crisis like last season, it's a different story. I think no squad can survive that. But
I guess one thing, go for it. I guess one thing, I have no idea who Atletico Madrid are playing this weekend, but usually the La Liga teams kind of get a free hit, don't they, before Europe as well? So that would be one to bear in mind. I'm sure he'd keep an eye on that as well. Unless they're playing a big match, they could probably afford to play half of the crap players for whoever they're playing this coming weekend, realistically.
Yeah, it's true. They do. The Prem doesn't do that, do they? They'll probably play on Friday night or Saturday early kickoff, and they'll get more time to rest. But either way, this game's a good one, man. I think Fulham they've obviously given you guys a tough game. So I think there's always a chance that they turn up and play better than they have so far. But Arsenal definite favourites. Let's get into the predictions then. So Io's gone 3-1 Arsenal. Khem, what's your prediction? Second in the table. What are you going to go for?
1-1 Smith Rowe to score.
All right, I
Knee
can
slide.
sense a bit of hater in that one. Razor, you're next, bro. What's your prediction on this one?
2-0, I'm saying on this one. And just in the interest of being informed, Atletico are playing Osasuna tomorrow at 8.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
so
you
they'll be
go.
using the under 21s then.
I mean, yeah, Osasuna, I'm assuming they've just recently come up, right? So they're probably not one of the strongest teams in the league. So that's a little bit more fortunate for them. But let's get into the other predictions then, since the rest of the lads are not here. So
We are
Chance,
here.
are you here? I can't
Yeah,
see you,
me,
bro.
me and Rhys are here now, mate. Okay.
Sorry,
yeah,
I can't see
I've
on
gone.
screen.
I've gone 1-0 Arsenal, and that's just because the last few games that we've had against them, I think the last 5 they've always been cagey, or maybe the last 4. I think we've had 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, and the loss was at Craven Cottage. So I don't think it's an easy game because they're always super physical with us as well, which leads me to believe that Arteta is going to go for quite a physical midfield and put Marino in there, unfortunately. So I think it's going to be a tough game.
So you've gone 1-0 Arsenal, yeah?
Yeah, I've gone 1-0 Arsenal.
All right, cool. Rhys, what's your prediction on this one, bro?
So I was just looking at it now. Yo, can you hear me?
Mate, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
But
Sorry. I just got a call. Yeah, I just got sorry. Yeah, I've gone 2-0 Arsenal. I think maybe a couple set piece goals from the Arsenal man. But I think guys, obviously Arsenal. I think they've conceded the least in the league, so I definitely don't think they'll be letting in goals. But yeah, 2-0, I'd say, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Yeah, makes sense, bro. I've actually also gone 2-0 as well. And Nash has gone 2-1 Fulham as well. 2-1 Arsenal, sorry. He wasn't a hater, got that right. And also I missed out actually his result in the last section. He went 4-1 Liverpool against United. So I blanked it out because it was so ludicrous. I didn't even want to share it on the pod. But in the interest of fairness, I'm going to share his prediction. But anyway, let's go on to the Forest-Chelsea game since you're here now, Rhys. I think you're 12:30 kickoff, aren't you, on Saturday? So you're the first team back after the international break.
Yeah.
You've got Ange, who's on the edge of being sacked after like 2 months. What do you feel a bit more upbeat after the Liverpool win? And do you think that you're going to be able to be the ones that push Ange off the cliff?
In terms of Ange, I've got a bad habit of saving managers' jobs when they need saving. So I think they might have a chance. I think the thing with me is I was pleased that obviously with the Liverpool result, we played well, but it's just about finding that consistency. But yeah, we've got even more injuries to the back 4. So I don't think, and Palmer's apparently not back till December now. So I think for us, it's just about finding a bit of consistency. I would expect us to go and win against Forest, but it might be a hiccup for us as well, depending on who's fit and who's going to play. Badia Shields now out till December. Obviously, you've got injury. But for
And you're on mute.
Bro, is it only me or is Rhys's audio lagging like mad?
Rhys, you might have been captured.
Yeah, you may have been captured,
yeah,
bro.
it's
Your
just
internet is bugging out.
And he's gone.
The internet
This
always
is a
tries.
joke.
I thought for a minute we might be safe with IO not on. Obviously, I'm always a bit of a flight risk with this, but no, Rhys has been caught. Let's see if he comes back.
I was watching Ray to see if I'd frozen or not, because he was just like.
I'm gonna be real. I was staying still to try not to laugh because every time I was about to say, "Nah, I think he's gone," yeah, a little bit of a word would come through, and it happened like 3 times in a row, and then the 4th time was just Fofana, and I just started.
I love how as soon as Fofana's name came up, the thing cut out.
The internet said no more of this.
Yeah, and John saw me trying to be like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I was on mute. So yeah, proper COVID settings, virtual calls going on today, man. Mad thing. But yeah, we'll go into the Chelsea. I mean, do you guys agree with what we heard of what Rhys was saying in terms of them obviously saving managers, but having bare injuries? I still think they should win, man. Forest are shit.
Yeah.
They're terrible. They should get it done. They're title challengers now. They held it to us, so should be getting it done.
The other thing is as well, yeah, I think we're kind of looking at the whole saving Ange thing incorrectly, because there is no saving Ange, and he's on board one of Mr. Marinakis' ships, and he might win the game and still get fired. Like the mad. Nah, I don't want to go off on a mad tangent, yeah, but I watched an hour-long documentary on Marinakas, and he is absolutely unhinged. Yeah, Greek football is mental generally, yeah, but he might be one of the most mental people to come out of it ever. So yeah, Ange is fucked regardless. Chelsea would just be delaying the inevitable, but I think they should win.
Yeah, I agree, man. Jonty, do you agree? Do you think Chelsea they must with this, or do you think it's a tricky one?
I don't know, man, because Chelsea are a bit of a yo-yo team as well, right? So just when you expect them to win, they don't. And this is the history of the Chelsea for the last 4 or 5 years. So I feel like this could be one of them ones, because it's perfect settings, isn't it? Chelsea love to lose to shit people, and Ange loves to beat good teams after being shit for ages. You know what I mean? So it's like a match made in heaven for this to be an upset. But the smart money's got to Chelsea win the game, because Forest have been absolutely woeful. I still think he doesn't have a win, and he's been there for 7 games. He hasn't won a single match. And he's played fucking cup games against real shit teams like Swansea and that. And he's been 2-0 up and lost 3-2. So it's hard to say that this guy's going to go and do anything good, but surely he's not going to be shit forever. We all saw Nottingham Forest team last season. It was pretty good. They've got a pretty good defence. They've got people like Elliot Anderson off his nuts. They've got people like Chris Wood in there that should be able to score. They've got still a good team. So how bad of an effect he had on a team? I'm almost wondering, should we give them Liverpool? Should we let Ange manage Liverpool for a week just for bants and see if he loses? Because it's nuts. But I've gone. I think Chelsea have got to win this game. So I'm going for Chelsea win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ange fucking smashes them 4-0 or something.
Yeah, I think it's just simple with Forest, though, isn't it? It's just a style thing. We all saw that a mile off, going from super defensive, pragmatic Nuno, who fits that squad the way it's been assembled, to Ange, high line for life, kamikaze settings, where the players do not suit that, or very few of them suit that, is just a ridiculous decision. And like Razor said, yeah, it's the Jose if I speak meme, because you need to bang on allegedly after everything you say about Marinakis, because this guy's out here real life mafioso setting. So I think it's just such a weird. I don't know.
It's a mafia hire. Maybe he's related by it or something, and they just had to do it because he owes someone.
No, they do know each other. They do know each other, I swear, from before. And obviously, Postecoglou is Greek origin. So these men have only got some sort of relationship, but I don't think any kind of relationship is going to save him.
Yeah, it feels like
Ange owes him money. This is this is deep, bro. Like
someone owes something.
Yeah, bro, this is deep. Like Marinakis, allegedly, Mr. Marinakis.
Thank you.
See how I keep calling him Mr. Marinakis? I've been the fear of God has been put into me, allegedly. But yeah.
Razor Gibbs White. Thank you, Chairman Marinakis.
Bro, I'm going back and deleting my tweets. I was tweeting about Morgan Gibbs White looking like a hostage in that video. After I watched that documentary, I'm going back and deleting all of them tweets, bro. Allegedly.
Save yourself.
You've got a show in North London coming up. Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, let's get into the predictions then. So Io's gone 1-1. Khem, you're next up. What's your prediction on this game?
Bollocks, what did I pick? I think it was 2-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea, yeah.
All right, Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
I was getting my COVID. I was getting my COVID 2020 on. I was on mute. Sorry, my bad. I think Chelsea are going to spank them 3-1.
3-1. All right, John, what's your prediction on it?
Even though Chelsea must, I can't trust them. It's a 1-1 for me.
I thought you said earlier you expected Chelsea to win, right? Throw the Uno.
I do, but I'm not betting. I'm not betting my fucking position in the league on Chelsea because these men are all over the shop.
Fair enough. I've gone 2-1 Chelsea. I'm not mad at the draw. I think it's totally possible. What everyone said, this is like a bag of revels, man. Anything could come out at the moment. And yeah, Nash has gone 3-0 Chelsea. Wow. So he's gone for them slapping Forest up. Let's quickly go through the last two teams that we've not really got anyone to represent on this.
Wait, what about Rhys's prediction? Rhys is back in the building, just so you know, man. I know you can't see him, but he's here in spirit.
I don't know if I'm still lagging or...
No, you're here.
No, you're all right now, yeah.
Okay. All right.
What's your prediction, bro?
So I've gone 3-1 just quickly before I lag. Yeah, hopefully, I know there'll be a goal we concede, but it could be a draw. But I'm hoping we carry on some confidence from the Liverpool game, and 3-point collectors this week. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, if you do win it though, we are, keep up the form a little bit longer. I know Ken was joking about it early on, but it will put you right back in the picture, top 4. I imagine, like with the other results going on around. So if you do get the win, man, things might change on the next few pods. Chelsea will be back in it, and we'll have real conversations.
Let's not get carried away.
With Achimpong in defence and Esteval on the right wing. Come on, man, that's a title challenging team. Let's go. Let's go on to Man City, Everton then, because obviously I think Man City are back in title contention, but I'm going to throw this open to you lot. We'll start with you, Razor. Do you think City are back in it, or do you think we got to calm down a little bit?
I don't think City have really, like, if you know what the thing is as well, and we're guilty of it because we're discussing football on like a weekly basis, and to be honest, in the group chat we're discussing on a daily basis. So by the nature of that, it's going to be reactionary. I don't think City have ever not been like capable or in it, but like we always talk about form, and I just think they're not what they used to be. Pep City were at one point in time inevitable, and in comparison to that now, like you can see holes in what they're trying to do. But yeah, like they're definitely still a team in a division that should be looking at their squad, especially should be like involved in all of the competing and whatnot, you know what I mean, challenging for bits and pieces. So I think, yeah, they're definitely in it, but it's kind of like when Chelsea fans are trying to tell me that they're not title challengers, and I roll my eyes, and like, you should be, like, you're here, in it, like, do you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, they're about. I don't think it's as nailed on as it used to be, and I think they're going to struggle a bit this weekend as well.
It feels like, and the rest of you, man, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like City are Haaland FC right now. So if Haaland is banging, they can beat anyone, or they can match a strong team like Arsenal, or, be in with a chance of winning a game where they're not really playing that well, which I do think is the first time we can ever say that about a Pep team, at least since he's been in the Prem, right? All his other teams have been a lot more functional and generally had one of the best players in each position. But this City team just hasn't got going yet, apart from Haaland obviously is doing unreal things, and Doku obviously on the left wing has been really, really good this season. But the rest of the team still feels a bit hit and miss and not as strong. Khem, do you think that's fair, or do you think I'm going also too extreme on just being Haaland FC?
No, it's fair. It's definitely fair. It's just not a bad FC to be honest, because that guy is a bagsman and he stays fit. And I've lost my Holland Norway agenda as well, so fair play. But I think Ray is right. They're just not inevitable anymore, because aside from Pep's first year in the league, they have been pretty damn inevitable. It feels a little bit like, do you remember the COVID year when it was a bit odd because we were all focused on each other, and then City actually started off really crap. It was a year when Van Dijk blew out his ACL. I think Arteta was still cleansing the team, and maybe I think Chelsea were I don't know, I think 2020, 2021, I don't know if Roman had to sell the team or not, but they won the league with Ferran Torres up front, very quietly. Like, we all forget that year because it was mainly played behind closed doors and we were all stuck at home on a Teams call. So it's a bit like that, where I feel like they're just making sure that they beat the lower teams and then see what they can do, like how they played against Arsenal. Certainly away from home, they're making sure, let's just be cagey, maybe sneak a point. I feel like he's taking that approach where they're not the absolute favourites that they've been the last 6-7 years. But I think we can't rule out a Pep Guardiola team, unfortunately. I can't, because history doesn't give me a reason to rule that bold bastard out, unfortunately. Sorry if anyone bold is watching, whatever. But yeah, so like, he knows how to win leagues, doesn't he? He does. Like, let's face it. Like, he maximizes what he has, and he usually finds ways to just get the 3 points every week against the teams, the lesser teams, especially at home. And they seem to be a bit more cagey. Maybe, like, I think they're having like closer scorelines as opposed to just battering teams. That's what they used to do, really. We were just used to them. We'd tune in and we'd see, 1-0 Bernardo Silva. 6 minutes in. Again, 13 minutes in, it's like a shitty tap in from John Stones from a corner, and we just give up on their match and we focus on next week. So like this week, we kind of tune in a little bit because they're not like absolutely pumping teams anymore, but they're still there or thereabouts. I think teams will take points off each other and it will be a close race, a bit like 23, 24, where there's a few teams in it. And he'll find it. Now, 1 or 2 injuries, I think that changes things for Pep, though. I don't think he has the depth that he used to, or the depth that he could trust. I think he used to be able to trust the backups to come in, because he's won leagues when Sane's blown his ACL and De Bruyne blew his ACL. And did they? No, the only one they failed to win was Rodri, wasn't it, last year? But he's actually successfully won 1 year without his damn striker up front, and a couple of other years with star players literally on the shelf. So he finds ways to win against the rubbish teams. It's just I think how he matches up against the Big-6 is where he'll either win the league or not, in my opinion, for them. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think that's fair. Let's get to in the interest of time, let's get to the predictions, and we'll come to Johnson Rhys on the last game, on the Spurs game. So Ayo went 2-1 Man City to win against Everton. Khem, you're next. What's your prediction on this one?
I've gone 1-0 Man City.
All right. Nice one. All right, Ray, what's your prediction on this one?
I think that I was... Oh, no, I thought I was bugging for a second. 2-1 City, Grealish involved in the Everton goal.
That's a good guess. I think anyone predicting Everton to score is probably Grealish or Ndai, really, right now. They're the two bagsmen for that team. John, so what's your prediction next?
I've gone for 2-0 City. I think they're just going to be playing long ball football. Donnarumma direct to Haaland for 2 goals, basically.
I don't think Grealish is playing.
Is he out?
I could have sworn he's injured. I don't know.
Isn't he on loan?
No, because he's on loan.
Oh, he's got a red
Oh,
card.
yeah, he's on. No, he's on loan.
He's
He's,
on-
he's on
oh,
loan
he's
from
on
City,
loan,
so he
yeah,
can't
yeah.
play. Parent club. Damn, that one took out your theory, Razor. You're gonna have to.
Doesn't
bank
change
on
my
him dying.
prediction. Doesn't change my prediction.
I mean,
Doesn't change my
Everton.
prediction.
We haven't talked about Everton, but low-key, they've had a really good start to the season, man. And Moyes is doing a good job there. So yeah, and Dye is really
Nice,
good.
bad boy.
Well, Dewsbury Hall's come in and looked really handy in midfield as well.
Pause.
The defense is pretty strong. Yeah, pause, of course. Rhys, what's your prediction on this one as well, bro?
I just went 2-0 Man City. I think Everton might actually struggle without Grealish in terms of creativity. Although, like, they've got a good thing going with Ndiaye, Dewsbury Hall, and a few others. But I would say it might be just difficult for them to break City down this week. So I'm going to go 2-0. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a pretty good guess. I've gone 3-1 Man City. Just Haaland, man, inevitable. And I think going against City to keep a clean sheet, you've got a chance, because I still think their backline's a bit ropey. So if Ndiaye or Beto even, or any of their attackers have a good game, I think they can nick a goal for sure. So I've gone for the trusty 3-1 on that one. So last prediction, Spurs, Aston Villa. Jonty, we'll start with you, mate. Do you think, because Spurs are actually third, you know, and they're only a few points off the top, it's kind of gone a bit under the radar, because I think for a couple of reasons, that obviously Spurs are not as big as a lot of the other big six teams. Thomas Frank is, although a great manager, he's not one that's always in the headlines for loads of different things. And I think also the style of play hasn't been like, wow, they've been really functional, right? But do you think they can get the dub in this game? And if they do we actually, same kind of thing that we said with City and with Chelsea even, do we have to consider them in the picture in the title, Jonty?
Nah, I'm not going to consider them for the title or in the picture for it. I feel like the league is really in three rungs at the top of the ladder. Right, you've got the Arsenal, the City, and the Liverpool, essentially, who are the best teams, and then you've got like the Chelseas, the Newcastles, and there's usually room for one more team to kind of come in there and challenge a little bit. And this year it could be Palace, it could be Bournemouth. And then you've got the other lot that are kind of fighting for Conference League and like end of Europa spots, right? Which is, I just think that's the way, right? As much as Chelsea fans want to say they're in a title race, or other people want to say they're in a title race, you're not really in a title race until, no, Rhys, listen to me, right? Last year, you said in December, you were doing really well, you were in the race. But to me, the race doesn't really start until at least January, February, March anyway. So if you're out of it by January, February, you're not really in a title race. Like, you were never really challenging or pushing people. So my point is, like, I think Spurs will do well. I think they will be spotty in periods, because I think they're still trying to figure out how to score. And I genuinely think they're going to have trouble, because even Kudus, who's been one of their like most creative, better players this year, or this season so far, he's still struggled to get on the score sheet, struggled to get on the assist tally as well. So I think they're going to struggle, because I don't know if Solanke, Richarlison, these men are going to be able to keep up a good stream of goals. And if you think about like Thomas Frank at Brentford, he had man like Mbeumo and Wissa, like, that was scoring the bulk of their goals. So I don't know if he's got bagsmen like that in his team right now, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be good, because I think they're still organised. They're able to, Thomas Frank is able to play oppositions the way that they need to be played to get a result. I just don't think they're going to be like convincing enough all round and be able to like keep those errors, keep those draws, keep those like random losses off of their sheet to stay in the race for long enough, to be perfectly honest with you. So I don't think they're going to challenge, but bear in mind, like, I had them fifth or whatever in my prediction table, where a lot of other people didn't, because I think they are going to be good, and I do think they're going to push Chelsea for that top four spot. So I think they're good. I just don't think they're going to be able to challenge. I think that's a bit harsh on the top three teams, because are we really thinking that Spurs are like, even if you choose City out of the top three, do you really think Spurs are as good as City? I know that as a Pam City recently, but outside of that, do you really think they're good enough to hold up throughout the season?
I think there's question marks, right? That's why you got to go and ask questions after batches of games. And I think we're at game week 8. So they've played 7 games. That's probably like 20% odd of the season. And they're up there. They're in 3rd. So it's definitely early, I think, to say.
Yeah, but did you watch them against Bodo Glimt?
Yeah, they were.
Did you watch them against Bodo Glimt and Wolves?
I did.
They were fucking awful.
Yeah. And I think you're right, though. Ultimately, they're not established in the same way Liverpool, Arsenal, and City are. Those are the teams that have been fighting for the leagues over the last 4 or 5 years. Spurs haven't been close. But just in terms of their form, I think we may have to have a conversation if it keeps up, right? I agree that you can't make I don't think anyone's saying they're in the race right now, but they could be in a few weeks' time. Rhys, what do you make of that?
Man, one last thing though, just be happy going 17th to top 6. Right? You're going from 17th. This is where you are. Okay? Don't get greedy now.
Man's arguing with a figurative Tottenham fan. There's not one here even arguing that. But Rhys, what are you saying, bro? Do you agree that it's too early to even put them in the picture, or do you think they're similar to Chelsea? They could kind of sneak their way into it pretty soon.
Can I just do a disclaimer? I don't think, as a Chelsea fan, that we're going to win. We're in any race going right now for this title. That's just a disclaimer.
You got Esteban, bro. Come on.
You must. You must.
Yeah, we must not. I think it's too early to say that Spurs are in a title race. I think Frank is not been in the door too long to put his ideas together. I think, like John said, 17th to 6th is a massive improvement already. So I wouldn't put them in that, but they definitely have a shout for top 4. I would say that they can be in the top 4 race with us, because that's how we live right now. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with Johnson on that point. They're not title challenges. I would say let Frank get his ideas in. I think they need another window or 2, maybe in the summer. But I think they can definitely push on for the top 4 spots.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, on the ideas point, I think they've got his ideas. I haven't. This is one of the quickest adaptations I've seen for a minute in terms of a team going from the crazy Ange football to the way Frank wants to play. They're pretty pragmatic already, which is mad if you think about how quickly it's taken. But I get you. They need a bit longer.
Your hamstrings are constantly on the line. When your hamstrings are constantly on the line, you learn something new pretty fucking quickly.
Fair play. What are you trying to say, Razor? What's your take on this?
Lads, I'm sorry, Ant, I'm not, for just one moment, I'm not talking to you. Lads, do not mistake a United fan looking at Spurs, with envy as a genuine piece of analysis on where Spurs can finish this season. You see how you man are saying, like, yeah, fair play, you man finished in 16th, now you're up here. Do you know who's...
We're coming, man.
He's looking and he's comparing himself and his situation. No, it's not the same. It's not that. I feel like Jonty said it. Jonty opened with nah. I feel like he said everything that needed to be said. Don't get me wrong, like Spurs definitely look better. They look like they survived Postecoglou. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but yeah, he obviously left some trauma there. And like John said, I think it's a lot. That's what new manager bounce is, innit? After you go in and you've been in the mud with a gaffer that's not been letting you play the kind of football that you need to do to win or to feel happy or to feel free. You get someone in with new ideas and you take them on board, and you probably take them on board faster than you would if things had been okay and you disagreed with the manager departing. Do you know what I'm saying? Cough, cough, Forest. So yeah, I think like Spurs are, they're doing better. Thumbs up to them. They're not being a 2-pack of arse anymore, but they're still Spurs, isn't it? Like they need to show us something. let's relax.
You
let's be
can't.
calm.
You can't. Razor. You can't do that, bro. You can't say from a Man U's perspective and then just like riddle your opinion with Arsenal hate for Spurs.
No, it
This is
wasn't
not
riddled. That's
no, bro.
wrinkled a little bit at the end, if anything.
Okay, yeah. All right. Wrinkled. You can choose that descriptive word, but you can't. I don't think this is a new manager bounce with them. If you watch how they play, this isn't some like we're free or we get a chance to do something totally different from the last manager. Like they've actually got a style of play that looks reminiscent of what Frank has done at Brentford.
You're right. It's not new manager bounce. They had their bounce, they had the bounce, and then they played against. At the risk of sounding like Jonty, yeah. Did you watch them against Bodo Glimt? Because I did. I love a hate watch.
That's one game.
It's one game against a team that are not saying a lot. If you want to talk about Khem, if Liverpool played Bodo Glimt and it was uninspired, what would your first thought be? How are we supposed to win the Prem? We can't even beat Bodo Glimt. If you want to have them in the discussions, these discussions, these are the hurdles that they must hop over. I didn't organize the heptathlon. I'm just saying.
Did they play Bodo Glimt last year?
They beat them. They beat them to the Europa. Yeah,
they beat them more convincingly last year than they did this year. They drew with them.
Better then. Yeah, they were. But
yeah, they were in those games.
They usually start the season quite well anyway. Didn't they do that a couple of years ago? And as soon as any expectation, like today, any question comes up, and then as Chiellini said and as Jonty said, it's the history of them. So I do. What I'd say is their defense looks better. I think only Arsenal have conceded less. So that's definitely an improvement on them. And I think only Arsenal and City have scored more, but we're only like 6-7 games in. So Spurs have definitely got like we're just comparing it to Ange Ball. Do you know what I mean? I've seen them with Conte and Mourinho, who I think are much better managers than Thomas Frank, with all due respect. And we can go as far back as when they've had what's his name, Poch and Harry Redknapp and all these guys. They're always nearly there. There's nothing that gives me any indication that Spurs could be in the race for anything, I'm afraid. Like you said, the picture, or what's their picture looking like? I don't even know how you draw it for Tottenham. My whole life, I'm 31 years old, and there's nothing for me to suggest that Spurs are capable of competing for anything other than
before we move on, also at 25 you could have said that about Liverpool. So it's the
fact that you're about to is a dangerous thing to say. I said competing. You better hold that.
Am I lying? When Khem was 25, we could have said the same thing about Liverpool.
But I said competing for anything. I didn't say
you won a Europa and a FA Cup, Steven Gerrard. Well done. But anyway, let's get into
Spurs did win something. They did finally win something. Who was that against? Sorry, I forget.
Yeah. I'm skating on thin ice, man. I don't know why. I went in I went in the deep end without my swimming rings.
This has been audacious.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to throw a grenade in there. Let's go on to the predictions though. Io's gone 2-1 Spurs. Khem, what's your prediction on this one?
I'm gonna have to double check because I actually don't remember a thing about this Spurs team. I went with 2-2 because I feel like tensions will be heightened because Villa are not allowing Maccabi Tel Aviv to play their match, and I'll leave it there. So I think it will be an intense match.
Please leave it there. Please leave it there.
Please,
I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
I've also gone 2-2. Yeah.
All right. Johnson, what's your prediction on this one?
I've gone 1-1, so there's a lot of draws being predicted, but I just think it's going to be a brain battle between Emery and Frank, and I think they're just going to cancel each other out because they've got basically the same level of squad in mind.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? If this game came a bit earlier, I think a lot of us would change our kind of predictions. The way Spurs were looking at the time, looking a bit better. Villa were looking very ropey, and they've kind of turned a bit of the corner recently. So I get it. Rhys, what's your prediction on this one, bro?
I went 2-1. Spurs. I think, yeah, it will be a close game, tight, but I think they might just edge it later on in the game, Spurs. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they've scored quite a few late goals, haven't they, as well, in quite a few of the games. So I don't think that's a crazy one. I actually think it's going to be 2-2 as well. I've gone for that result. I think Villa will probably be ahead, and Spurs will come back into it right at the death. But all right, that's all our predictions locked in. Just one thing to factor in, folks. We've had a bit of a back and forth in the group chat around some technical bits around the predictions. Unfortunately, the two chaps that are not on the pod this episode, Io and Nash, missed the 12 o'clock deadline to submit their predictions. So they can only get correct results. They can only get 1 point. So it doesn't matter if they get correct scores, they will only get 1 point for all of their results this week. And for anyone that submits their predictions later, then the deadline, the same thing will happen. So, fair's all round. All right, so let's get into our special segment then. So, guys, I'm sure you've all seen it across socials and different content creators. There's been a lot of chat about who's the best midfielder in the league, who's the best striker in the league. Basically going through nearly every position and just saying this player is better than this player and arguing them and creating hours of content around it. So, you know what? We thought, F it, we'll do something similar. So we're going to do our Premier League best team position by position. And I've prepared a little shortlist for you guys and for us to all discuss who we think is the best player in each position. So the positions we'll go through is goalkeeper, centre-back. We're not doing two, we're just doing one. Who's the best centre-back? Right-back, left-back, centre midfield. Again, we're not doing all this woke business with 6, 8, 10. We're doing CMs as one, and then we're doing AMs as one, and then we're doing right wing, left wing, and striker. So in total, it's not actually 11 positions. It's actually 9. But this is the best way to do it, I think, and not to get too technical with left centre-back, right centre-back, and all that business. Razor, you got your hand up? What are you saying?
Is this based on form?
Okay, so the technicalities are we're doing it in a batch of this, 7 games of this season and factoring in last season as well. But no, we're not going further back than last season. We're doing
so
it
basically
last season,
2025.
7 games. 2025 is a good way to look at it, yeah? So I've got a shortlist for you guys. We're not just throwing random players out there, right? And you can argue with me if you think my shortlist is balls, but hopefully it's not. We're going to.
If I see a Man United player in any of these positions, there will be problems.
I'm sure
if it's based off this season and last season.
They've got to have Onana on the goalkeeper list, surely.
See Vidic and Van der Sar.
We may have problems, but let's get to that hurdle when we get there. We'll start off with goalkeeper, yeah? I think this one's fair. We've talked about it in the group chat already a couple months back. And the 2 goalies I've shortlisted it down for us to discuss is the title-winning goalkeeper with a women's name, Alisson. And then we've got arguably one of the best goalies in the league over the 4 or 5 years he's been in the Prem, and especially now since he's at a title challenging team, David Raya. So those are the 2 goalies I've narrowed it down to. We've got to decide, lads. There's 5 of us on the pod, so there's not going to be a stalemate. We've got to decide who's the best goalie in the league right now, David Raya or Alisson. Is his name Becker? Alisson Becker. Razor, let's go to you first, bro.
You know exactly what I'm going to say. I specifically asked you about the timings, the parameters. There is only one answer that I want to hear given, and his name is David. It's that simple. Has Alisson had a better career? Has Alisson been a better keeper? Has he hit a higher level? Has he done more? Has he da-da-da-da-da? Cool. But within the instructions, yeah, I'm going to be real, in the Prem, over this 7 game weeks and last season, yeah, Raya. Put the house on it.
Do we have a disagreement? Does anyone want to put Alisson forward, or are we going to all agree on this? I'm assuming, Khem, you would disagree. What's your take on this?
From when we watched, and this isn't to discredit Raya at all, I think he's been absolutely brilliant for you guys. I actually thought Ramsdale was cool. I didn't understand when you brought another keeper in, but then very quickly it made sense. So credit. But I've watched us play some absolute stinkers, and Alisson has genuinely kept us in the game. I think I said Judge the last time we did a pod. Yeah, you guys probably have watched him and think, what in the holy hell is going on with this? Because there's matches where we shouldn't just be losing, but we should be getting like battered. Like, we could talk about Palace the other day. We could talk about, I think, what was the PSG? There was a game against PSG where we got absolutely destroyed. But the scoreline was actually 1-0 to us. And I think just what he's done for us in matches over the course of 2025 is not just win matches, but win key points, which enabled us to win the title. Because those are the moments that where you, like, some of the saves Alisson makes, Raya failed to make in those games where you lost against like the West Hams and the Fulhams and shit like that, where you guys are looking back and suddenly you're 13 points behind. You know what I mean? So since we're talking about 2025, because obviously
Jonty
2024 is the same keeper and before that as well. So in terms of health, that's a clear, obvious one. Like right now, Raya stays fit. He's obviously like 10 years younger. But Alisson, when it matters, and from when I was there and watched the game live, I saw one keep a clean sheet and I saw one get packed from a 30-yard free kick. So I'm just going to say Alisson Becker, man. Until further notice.
Okay, can I ask you a question? When was the last time that Alisson played all 38 Premier League games?
No, don't fall into the trap.
Listen to me. No, listen to me. He last season played a grand 28 Premier League games. You had Kelleher come in, and you man were telling me that he's the best goalkeeper in the world or the best backup in the world, right? So don't tell me nothing about, he's so good, title win, because it was Kelleher that was keeping your ass in a lot of games last season, and this season he's injured again. So yeah, sure, if you were doing it off of the peak of the peaks, do whatever you want to say and say whatever you want to say about Alisson Becker being a really good goalkeeper on his day. Don't tell me that this guy that gets injured and plays 3/4, 2/3 of a season is the best goalkeeper over the course of the last 1.5 years.
So obviously last season,
Raya has been the goalkeeper in more Premier League games
37 and 36. So
in one season than Alisson has been in the last two.
That's not true.
Right? He hasn't played a full season of football for you, like a full game since 2018, brother.
Has Raya ever won a goal?
We're talking about a goalkeeper here. He conceded fewer goals than you did last year. 34 goals we conceded. How many did you concede, mate?
Well, we started
41.
We started partying 4 games.
Dude, math.
Our team was in Ibiza, bro.
Oh, did you really? Did you goals in those last games?
I saw Arna slot at Ushiara, man.
This is not necessary. This is what he wants from you. Don't fall into the gambit.
Has Raya ever won a goal?
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Yeah.
There are United fans and Chelsea fans here. Let's vote.
Let's vote. I think we know what the fans that are associated with these two players are going to vote, right? I'm pretty sure it's 2 votes for Raya, 1 for Alisson so far, right? I'm assuming, Jonty, you're going to vote for Raya. Rhys, I'm going to come to you, bro, as one of the impartials on this. Who are you going for, Raya or Alisson?
I feel like I'm proper picking sides here. Careful, I need to choose my words carefully. Do you know what it is? I honestly think we're having an argument about form versus ability. Because if I'm talking about overall ability, then yeah, I'm going to pick Alisson. But if you talk about, I guess, form within the last season, and Arsenal, they've obviously, like, they're doing really well when they don't concede a lot of goals, and it is quite hard for teams to breach Arsenal. So if we're going form, especially the last 7 games, then I have to give it to Raya. But just as a disclaimer, like in terms of ability, then I would pick Alisson. But I would inform, yeah.
I just want to say, because
you asked me if he's won a Golden Glove. He won one last year, you silly fucker.
He shared it with Matt Sells. He shared it with Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, by the way.
It doesn't count then. Doesn't count.
But I just want to say, you said about matches played. Raya played all 38. He had 13 clean sheets. Alisson played this game, and he had 10 clean sheets. So in 10 more games, Raya had 3 more clean sheets.
Yeah, but this
All right,
is
but I think we've
Reese is
decided,
right.
though,
He
right?
said form versus
And do
ability,
the-
and that's why we specifically asked at the beginning
Yeah.
of this:
Gun to your
is
head,
this
you're
on
taking
form?
Alisson.
So
Both
you
of them.
picked him. This 3-1, and
It's 3-1. It's done.
let's do your ceremonial vote, and then let's do this all over again with the centre backs because I know what's
Right,
coming.
come on in.
I
Come on
know.
in.
I'm trying to see if I want to go to a left back or right back instead.
Nah,
Just
get
to
out of the
break
way.
it up a
Get
little
out
bit.
of the way. Get out of the way.
No, I'll be real. It is what Rhys said, right? I think Alisson's going to be remembered potentially as the better goalie because I think overall quality and what he's done, body of work, undeniable, man. He's up there with Schmeichel and Cech in that combo. Totally valid. But if we're talking about 18 months, I think it's mad slept on how class Raya has been. And I was on this pod before with John's arguing that whole Ramsdale thing isn't really such a big difference, blah, blah, blah. And with new information, you've got to change your opinion. Raya's been fucking class, and he has been probably the best goalie in the league over this 18 months, or if you want to just say 2025. And sure, availability is factored in a little bit because Alisson's definitely played less games, but you got to be fit, man. You're a goalie. You can't be that fragile. So I think that's it. It's just Raya based on the form, and I don't think it would be crazy to even say that Raya quality-wise is not a million miles off either. He's a very fucking good goalie, man. Raya's a very good goalie. He's a very good goalie. All right, we are going to take a break from this mad thing, and we're going to go to left back first, right? Just so we can survive a bit, and we can get Rhys involved in this. Yes, just so we can get Rhys involved as well, right? So this is going to sound crazy when I say these names, but remember the rules and the way we're deciding this. So the two left backs, I've condensed it down for this 7 games and also last season is the guy who likes paella from Chelsea, Cucurella, and the guy, honestly, who's making this sound crazy because he's been pretty shocking this first few set of games, but he was unbelievable at Bournemouth, Twerkes. So we've got to choose between Cucurella and Kirkes. We can't put in. Look, Calafiori was in my mind, but we're talking about 7 games. He was injured.
I'm not trying to put in an Arsenal player, but you're ignoring Antony Robinson and Olaina.
Yeah. But Ola Aina's a right back, and Anthony Robinson. I think this season's not really done anything. He was not as good as I think Kirkes last.
You're
season.
talking about Twerkes.
So much.
You're talking about Twerkes, and you're talking about not doing anything this season.
I'm with you.
Fucking hell.
Also, Kirkes kept a clean sheet against your boys as well. I just want to say that.
I'm actually with you, Andy.
No, I get it. Robinson, guys. There's always going to be like people that are in the discussion because you could have thrown Sells in the last one we had, right? There's other players, but I think when it boils down, I still think Kirkes was the best left back last season, and he's got his big move to Liverpool. All right, he's not been great, but I do think he was the best left back last season, and I think Cucurella has been probably the most consistent. If you factor in this beginning of the season, he's been good. So these are the 2 defenders we got to choose between, guys. Might be straightforward because
it's Cucurella, lads. Let's just fucking move. It's Cucurella.
We'll go to Rhys to get some Chelsea prop in here because I know some people laugh at Cucurella a lot, but I think we have to give him his flowers as well. I do think he's been very good in this last 18 months.
Yeah, for me, you might be biased, but I'm definitely going to take Cucurella. But I'm not just taking him because of his ability as a defender, but also because he's played majority of the games for us last season, especially when we brought in another left back for cover and then sold him in January. He was pretty much the front line playing Conference League and Premier League every week. And he's even featuring every game now. So Bournemouth, great. But I just think Cucurella, and especially his ability when 1v1, I think a lot of people take that for granted. Hands down, I'm just going to go him.
All right, so we've got 2 Cucurellas from John. John's very blunt vote. Khem, we'll go to you, bro, since I know Kirkes, he's in this for his Bournemouth form, definitely not his Liverpool form, but he's your player right now. Are you going to give him any defence, or are you agreeing that Cucurella's been the best left back in the league?
I actually thought it would have been Cucurella and Calamari in the contention for it. But obviously, yeah, his Bournemouth form was good. I think he hasn't been great for us, but I think he has held a lot of smoke, maybe unfairly as well, when I reflect. because not every game he's been tragic. There's just been a couple of moments that hasn't been very good, like backing it up like Ice Spice against Newcastle, or that dumb dive against Burnley, just stupidness like that. So he's not been awful, although he wasn't goal side, obviously, when Caicedo could have played in Gusto, so that was key as well. But I would have picked Cucurella anyway, because he's actually been very, very good for the last couple of years, I'd say. I think he has been probably the best left back, arguably. I say Nuno Mendes is obviously ahead of him, but it's a battle after that in terms of left backs in Europe. And he's also played well for Spain, not just for Chelsea. So I'd have to give it to him.
All right, so I think we pretty much decided. Razor will go to you for the vote anyway. Are you going to make it a clean sweep and say Cucurella as well, or are you going to? You were the only one backing me up just now when I did say Kirkes. So I see the vision.
No, I see the vision. I think Calafiori.
It's a tough pool of players as well, by the way.
I think my answer, like if you were to ask me, is very Calafiori skewed. But look at all this, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, yeah, like I think Kirkes gets credit, especially in his Bournemouth era, for that work, because if you're a defender at Bournemouth, you're gonna have to do a lot more. Your defending is going to be a bigger responsibility than if you are playing in a team that are more established, like Chelsea, even when they're going through rough times. But I think, as Rhys rightly said, like Cucurella wasn't just like a fullback. He was playing lots of games, heavily involved in the squad. He's kind of like a leader in that squad, especially when there's so many like young and changing faces at Chelsea. And I think just like what he offers going forward. I think, Kirkes, again, similar to the conversation that we were just having about Alisson and Raya, like it's not like we're looking at the whole league and you've suggested like some scrub that's not worthy to like lace man's boots. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he was great. He was wonderful. That's why he got his big money moves and he's stinking up Anfield now, isn't it? But yeah, Cucurella is the easy choice to make here.
Yeah, I agree, man. But I think it is a case of like, I think last season, Kirkes' season was maybe slightly better, but that's not saying that Cucurella wasn't very good as well. I just think, like you said, Kirkes had just an outstanding season. He was one of the top left backs across nearly all the metrics, and he was playing for Bournemouth, right? So it's not a shock that he's thrown in there. It's just, it is a bit of a shock, to be fair, that he's been as bad as he has been for Liverpool. And I think Cucurella's just been 7 or 8 out of 10, man, which when he first got there, he was stinking it up. So he's really turned it around. So big him up. I definitely agree that Cucurella is probably the best left back in the league. All right, let's go to the real contentious one then. Since it's centre back, we've got 3 players in the mix, not just 2. So we've got Virgil from Liverpool. We've got the 2 Arsenal centre-backs, Gabriel and Saliba. So we've got to pick the best centre-back in the league from those 3. So you're a bit outnumbered, Khem, but I think you're fine on this one because, greatest centre-back of all time and all that stuff. Tell me what you're saying. Are you going to just go for Van Dijk? Remember, it's 18 months as well, not the span of their Premier League career.
What did Gabriel and Saliba win in the last 18 months? Cool. Because I know one guy that became the first Dutch captain in Premier League history to win the league with 4 games to spare. Then he went to Ibiza. And he also scored the winning goal against Rhys's team with a bunch of kids in the cup final to win. So he's actually been to Wembley. Gabriel and Saliba haven't even been to Wembley. So, yeah, they've been solid. But also, you've got a centre-back / left-back on his left. You've got a centre-back / right-back on his right. And they've arguably played with sometimes 2 DMs, which they have argued about on previous pods. Sometimes they're too negative, right? Whereas our guys are playing with a high line and an 8 playing as a 6 and still got the same results, if not better. So I'd like to see Saliba and Gabriel with less protection, and then I would properly judge them. Because aside from his goals, for a while, Arsenal fans used to be like, "Ooh, with Gabriel." You can say it wasn't true. So Saliba's always been fun. I know I say some shit about Saliba from time to time, but he's actually a solid guy, especially for his age. Like, he's going to be a fantastic defender throughout his career, as long as he stays healthy and everything. Yeah, but there were times when they'd always say Gabriel had a stinker in him in terms of like a stupid foul or give away a pen or a dumb yellow or second yellow, things like that. It's just because he's brilliant at getting you those goals from set plays that you kind of forget the other side. I think he's cleaned it up in 2025, so that's why he's entered the conversation. But I don't think we'd have him in the conversation last year, if we're being real. I think he'd have had Saliba, but Gabriel's added himself into it. Congratulations to him. But the benchmark is still Virgil, because you guys were arguing over a 25-yard screamer to just slander him. That's what it took. It's not like he got nutmegged and left on his ass and flipping became a meme. It's because a DM
He did something with his ass.
He did. He was ready to cover Kirkes, who isn't as good as Cucurella. And that's the truth. Virgil won the league in this year. So I don't know what you want me to say to that, to be honest. He was brilliant. He was very, very good. Made a cup final, fucked it up against Newcastle. But Arsenal, what have they got to say? What genuinely? Like, he's got Saliba and Gabriel have more protection in front of them.
Okay, if you're gonna repeat the points that you've already said, can we?
Yeah,
I'm willing to let you do this because I know I know what your MO is, and it's so disingenuous that you can't even be consistent for more than 10 minutes. Because just now, when we were talking about goalkeeper, what man was saying was our problem was that our keeper didn't save things that his keeper saved, and that's why his keeper was better than our keeper. But now, to validate our defense is surrounded by so much protection that our defenders can't be like, it can't be how their effectiveness. Do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Virgil van Dijk is going to go down as one of the best centre-backs ever to play the game of football ever in the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? The question that we're talking about is based on the past 18 months. And this is why I'm glad that I was like, should I try to say something on the last thing? And I was like, I'm sure Khem will do it at some point in the future. And this is basically what it boils down to. I know you want to get your, what has he won? Trophies, Wembley, this, that, and the other. If that's the basis of your argument, that's the basis of your argument. I hear it. It's fine. It's cool. I can engage with that. At the end of the day, the reason that Arsenal did not challenge as Liverpool to the level that I would have liked last season, if you think it's anything to do with the back 4 or 5, I don't know what game you're watching, innit? The reason that we failed is because we didn't have enough creativity up front. We had injuries to key players and we didn't have substitutions of the right quality. But it was all going forward. We lost against the West Hams and whatnot because we failed to score goals against them. That's what our problem was. So when we're talking about do our centre-backs and do our goalkeepers, you got a left-back playing here and a centre-back play, whatever, man, whatever, in it. Like, Lewis Skelly's playing for England. He's not a left-back, whatever. Like, he's a DM, whatever. Calafiori's in it, whatever, in it. But, like, when we're talking about this, and you can be my witness because Jonty's dropped off the call. The first time you lot had me on this pod was to talk about Arsenal versus United. And what was I praising? Gabriel. I was saying Gabriel, people think he's a bozo, like they're like Saliba's the Rolls Royce and Gabriel's the destroyer, but Gabriel's got it in him. And when we got rid of, in my opinion, when we got rid of some of the calamitous people around the outside, do you know what I'm saying? That's when we started going, that's when you started to see his like quality a bit more. When he grew into it, when he started adding things to the game and being more confident. But ultimately, I say all of that to say, the bit I take umbrage with, Virgil van Dijk's one of the best centre-backs ever. Like, so saying that you think he's the top player in the Prem, it doesn't surprise me. But, bro, stop being so insecure, moving like a 14-year-old with back knee, bruv. Like, you said bare stuff about my centre-back, just to say to you, he's meant to be the best of all time. If I want to say Henry's the best, I don't need to talk about Salah, bro. If I want to say Vieira's this, I don't need to talk about Roy Keane, bro. Stop being insecure, bro.
Do you want to say who you think it is?
Shush, let me finish. My personal opinion and answer to the actual question is, over the past 18 months, I think Gabriel has been spectacular. I think he's got goals. I think he's held it down. I think he showed clever play. I think he showed leadership. I think Van Dijk is not, once again, we're having the same conversation. I don't think I could cuss anyone for saying Van Dijk. I don't think I could cuss anyone for saying Saliba. I would say Saliba, obviously, unfortunately, had a lot of points last season where he wasn't about for it. But honestly, I think we're splitting hairs here. I would say that like Van Dijk last season was great. This season, I haven't really seen that much from him, but it's only been 7 games.
Yeah, fair enough. So you've gone Gabriel, yeah, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm fine with it being Van Dijk, but all of that chat that man was doing, like, just bro, what if they won? Just to say Van Dijk's the best centre back in the Prem. Then what's all of this chatting about, man?
I don't know. Is Rhys still on the call? Because I can't see him
He
anymore.
was, and then he went,
all right,
and now Khem's back.
Khem's back.
Yeah, I dropped out.
All right, so I guess I'm the deciding vote on this one then. And again, I've got to have a similar answer than I had for the goalies, man. If you're talking about who's the better defender over their career and will be remembered in those top 5 conversations, top 3 conversations, is Van Dijk, man. But if we're talking about in the 18 months, I think you're being. I'm gonna err on the respectful side and say you're trolling a bit. But to say that Gabriel's been. No, but if you think Gabriel's been bozo-y until the last 6 months, you haven't been watching Gabriel, bro. Gabriel's been class for. Nah, he's been class for the last 3 years. If we broadened it out a bit longer, Gabriel's in the conversation with Van Dijk and Saliba, and I'm gonna go with Gabriel. I'm going Gabriel, but
washed
I'm not mad at Van
Robertson
Dijk.
and a Duolingo Trent, yeah, and a Duolingo Kanate and Kelleher behind him. Let's give him that and see if they go.
Let's see. Points. Let's see. We'll have to see.
Oh,
man.
now it's the Kelleher behind him.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Let's go right back. Let's go right back, bro. Right back, by the way. All right, thank God. All right, you're gonna have to be my eyes, bro, because I'm not seeing nothing. Rhys, who are you going for then? Because you just made it back in time. We've got 2 Gabriels and 1 Van Dijk. What's your vote?
Oh, the audio. Where's the audio gone?
Might be on mute.
The suspense is killing me.
I think he's gone, mate. I think he's gone. Well, we'll have to move on to right back, man.
The audio
we can see you fine. It's just the sound.
Yeah, the audio's gone, mate. We're gonna have to go on to right back then, guys. We're gonna have to go. The 2 nominations. It was quite difficult, man, because the Prem winning right back is not in the Prem anymore. And he may have been in the conversation if it was before then. But the only 2 right backs that, looking at the stats, that are still up there this season and were up there last season, you've got Tino Livramento from Newcastle and you've got Jurriën Timber from Arsenal. I'm sorry, Khem, I can't put Frimpong there. And I know Connor Bradley's worth 70 million to you or whatever. But yeah, I can't put him in either. So yeah, Timber and Livramento. Right, Livramento or Timber? We'll go to you first, Razor, since you've actually got a horse in this race. Who are you going to go for?
The answer is Jurriën Timber. I think it's a shame that Trent has actually been excluded by not being in the Prem anymore, because I do think if you ask me to pick between either of those 2 and Trent, based on Trent's contribution to Liverpool's winning season, I may have gone with Trent. So yeah, out of Tino and Jurriën Timber, I think you have to go with the pastor, the Bible school teacher. Yes, that's it. Jonty is back also, and so you can ask him too.
Okay, Johns, you've missed out on the beauty. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, actually, that you missed out on that Van Dijk, Gabriel Saliba bit. I'm gonna say it's a blessing. But we're on the right backs. We're on Timber or Livramento. What's your vote, bro?
I'm going for Timber.
A man of few words. Just Timber. All right, fair enough.
I'm in the fucking flag right now. Just take my animal words.
Fair dues. Khem, what's your vote, bro? Are you also going to go Timber, or are you going to be a hater and vote Livramento?
Timber as well, because I think his contribution has been massive, especially to support Saliba and Gabriel and Raya behind him as well. I think his performances are massive.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think this is a full house. I'm going Timber as well.
And he can play centre back as well. That's how good he is.
Yeah, he
cover
honestly,
Gabriel.
Timber is a very, very good player, man. I know we were linked with him before he went to Arsenal, and kind of around the time we got Martinez. And yeah, he's a much better player than even I thought when I was watching his clips and his highlights. Like he's just he's actually got a lot of potential going forward as well. So yeah, I think he's just a very good player all round, man. Definitely, I think that one's probably going to be the easiest one on this list, I think. Let's go to midfield then. This is contentious. It's a shame that Rhys is not here because again, this is a 3-man shortlist. We've got Deki Rice, we've got Moises Caicedo, and we've got your handsome boy, Khem, Ryan Gravenberch. So the three players in midfield we've got to choose between are Rice, Gravenberch, and Caicedo. Khem, go on. You get your vote in early. Who are you voting for best midfielder?
I didn't expect it to be 3 players. I wanted to go with. Do you know what? Fuck it. Grav has been amazing. Young player of the year, and had to learn a new position. Like, let's just give him. I'm going to give him his props. He had to learn a new role. He was only ever played an 8. Didn't play that many minutes in the last few seasons. We're going back to Ajax. Bayern didn't play him much in his first year. I think he had a couple of injuries, didn't play too much. Then suddenly we didn't sign Zubimendi, and he's having to play a really important position in modern football, and he did really well. Okay, and for the Netherlands. But I think Rice overall. I'm actually a big fan of Declan Rice. I can't lie. I think his contribution to a team. I think he's so versatile. Like, I was so jealous that they got him because he used to be able to cover centre back as well. He can play the 6. He can play the 8. He can play between the lines. He can, obviously the set plays, we know that. I think his all-round game is really, really good to the point where it's down to the manager just to utilise his skill set to get the best out of him in the team. So I'm giving it to Rice.
All right, surprise, man. Surprise. Jonts, who are you going to go for, bro, on this one?
I mean, I do like Caicedo and Gravenberch, and if we're talking about like impact on a midfield and that kind of stuff, obviously I feel like Gravenberch had a massive impact on Liverpool's midfield last year, even though the McAllister's really good, or was last year, and obviously is a nice pressing 10. But I think they both, Caicedo and Gravenberch, both made their midfield significantly better. But I've got to go with Rice just because if we're talking about CM and it's not DM, it's just a general CM. He, out of all of them, he can 8 players. He can put them, in my opinion, at a consistently high level. Whereas I think Caicedo is a better DM than Rice. I'd argue Gravenberch is a better DM than Rice. But if you combine the scores that they get across both, like the 8 and the 6 position, I think Rice is just a better all-round midfielder. I'm not saying that can't change in the future. I think Gravenberch is trying to change his role. I know Chelsea fans are telling me that Caicedo can play 8 as well. I just think Rice has the full package that the other two don't quite have yet.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's 2 Rice votes. Razor, what's your vote on this one? Are you going to also make it Rice, or are you going to throw a spanner in the works?
No, I'm going to go probably predictably with Declan, but it's very similar to what Jonts was saying. It's not like I think he's like light years ahead of either of those 2 players. And to be honest, depending on what you ask him to do, and sometimes we ask him to do the thing that he is not super world class at, in my mind, which is like using him as an out and out defensive midfielder. Like we were forced to sometimes historically. I think now we're getting to a point where we've got a lot more midfield tools in our arsenal, and that's given us the opportunity to use Rice in the way that he's meant to be used. So I do think it's not a case of him necessarily being. If there's a lot of things that I think you could circle and be like a lot of attributes and be like, oh, is Declan better than Ryan Gravenberch at this? Is he better than Caicedo at that? And the answer is one of those 2 is probably better. But I think if we were to stack up the things that they're all individually better at, Rice has more in his tower. And I think that's probably what it is that pushes that decision for me.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's really tight though. I think Caicedo is probably a better 6 than Rice is, I would say, but it's extremely close. And then I think Rice is definitely a quite a bit a better number 8 than Caicedo is. So I think that's the thing that pushes it over the edge. Which, to be honest, before he went to Arsenal, I did think of Rice as more of a 6. But yeah, he's actually really, really good driving with the ball. He's really good, obviously, with set pieces as well, which is something that I guess those other two midfielders don't have in their arsenal, to repeat your joke or pun. But yeah, generally, I think Rice is he's just, if you were to build like the old school double pivot 4-4-2 midfielder, I think, of which is one of the hardest positions to play, is much harder than I think the midfield is now to play. I honestly think Rice could do that. And he could do it quite seamlessly, whereas the other two I still think would have a bit more trouble doing that. And maybe they'll develop, and I think those two are a bit younger than Decky, right? So maybe in a few years' time that they'll develop those sides to their game. But I think right now, Rice has the edge on them, especially with that box to box kind of powerful run inside of his game. I think Grav is probably closer on that than Caicedo is, but I think Grav is not as good on the defensive side of things. I think he's not quite as good as tackler as Caicedo and Rice maybe is. He's probably good with interceptions, but I think that defensive side of the thing is something maybe that Gravenberch has got to work on. But I think this is a good combo, man. I think Gary Neville went very early to say Caicedo is the best midfielder in the league. Maybe it was a clickbaity thing, but who knows? Rhys is not here to argue, so it would have been good if he was in the chat.
Gary Neville's also a dickhead.
I can't even say allegedly. Views are
That's just my
razors
opinion.
and yeah. All right. The next positions are all going to be contentious, man, because some of the fits are not ideal with position. But for example, some of the players played in 3-4-3s, but were unbelievable and played like left-sided cam. And they have to be fit into a position of this. So I'm going to start with left wing. Just bear in mind that when you hear these names. So I've gone, obviously, Semenyo. Can't ignore Semenyo. Left wing has been unreal, both this 7 games, but also last season as well, has been really good. And we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna put Eberiche up against him on the left-sided 10 left winger. I know he's more of a cam, and he has played a bit for you on left wing as well. And when he was at Palace, he was definitely that left-sided 10. So we're gonna put Semenyo up against Eze, and we'll see what the votes come out. Go on, Razor. I know it's not a perfect fit, but left wing is fucking hard, by the way. There's actually not that many left wingers out there.
I backed you before. I'm not sure if I'm backing your thing.
Where's my guy Gakpo, man?
Gakpo's not on this, bro.
I would have, man, just said I'm not even going to let you down gently. I'm just going to let you know. Ain't no Gakpo voting coming.
He's not far. I mean, he's not far off that list. I mean, to be honest, Luis Diaz will probably be more of a push, but he left the league, right? So we got a difficult position on this one to pick between players. Either you're trying to shift someone in who's a more of a right winger. Is that left-sided 10? You could have thrown Cunha in from last season. He's a better comparison maybe with Eze playing left-sided 10s, but I don't think Cunha has been as good over the last 18 months as Semenyo.
I really hate this decision because Eze's like, if I go down the Khem route, Eze's had a better season. Like he won a trophy. He went to Wembley. You know what I'm saying? But he was also the main man for Palace. Much like Semenyo was one of the main guys for Bournemouth, but I feel like Bournemouth had quite a lot going on. If we're saying EPL best team based on position, best left winger, I would give me. I really hate this. This is awful. Because for Palace, like last season, like Eze played a lot. like in a much more central position. He's been playing in a central position for us as well already this year. Semenyo.
With gritted teeth. Khem,
I really resent you for making me make this decision.
It's a hard position, bro, because it is the case of Eze played more central, of course, than a proper touchline winger. But that Palace 210s, you play on either left side or the right side, and he played on the left side, so he would drift in and out on that side. So it's the closest comparison I could think of two players that were top of the charts in terms of their output. What are you saying, Khem? You're on mute, bro.
Sorry, I thought I clicked it. It made me realize that how bad is this position? Like I couldn't think of anyone else. But Semenyo he's actually quite. Imagine you're an opposition defender. I think right now many defenders just wouldn't like to be up against Semenyo without any like help from the midfield or their attacking player tracking back. Like right now, 1v1, he's actually beating his guy as you'd expect him. If you're a betting person, you like to gamble, you might as well. He's almost become a sure bet, hasn't he, to contribute towards your ACCA or your FPL. So based on 2025, I'm going to go with him because he's actually, his transfer value is going up like crazy as well. Bournemouth are going to make some good money off of him.
All right, so we got 2 votes for Semenyo. I think it's tricky, man. Actually, I would actually go Eze, but that's factoring in the impact he had last season. Like he drove that Palace team to a trophy, to do the trophy merchant vibes about it. Palace hadn't won a trophy in their whole history. He scored in the final. He scored in the semi-final. He moved the needle for that team, man. They lost Elise that season. A lot of the attacking output came from him, and he single-handedly did it, and he got his dream move. So I think Semenyo is an unbelievable player, by the way, and I think he should have got a move, this season. And I'm almost 100% certain he'll get a big move at the end of the season because I can't see this letting up, this form.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if he'll be able to keep up this many goals, but right now it is more form than I think Eze's proved a bit more. And
I forgot about the Elise thing. Yeah, I'm going
Eze's been Razor, you'll say this too. Every moment I've seen of Eze, he just looked good so far. I don't think he's come on and not looked good yet. But I haven't watched all your games. Maybe there was one Champions League away game where I think he may have got hooked. But apart from that, every time he's come on, he's generally made something happen, got an assist, or what the youngsters call pre-assists and all this other shit. He's impacted games. So I am going to vote Eze. So I don't know if I've swayed you, man, but I'm regardless of what you vote, I'm voting Eze.
I'm changing mine to Eze as well.
I think I got too caught up in the positioning aspect, and I think you've convinced me.
But I think he's definitely better. I know, which is a mad thing, isn't it? But because he's better centrally, I think we underrate that he can do a fucking good job on that left side as well. He's not a touchline winger, so he's always going to come in, but that's fine, man. He's going to impact things, and he's got his long shots, his free kicks, his creativity. I think he's up there, man. So we've managed to swing it into Eze's favor. All right, this one's gonna. I wish Jonty was here for this one because this is one that he would be he'd be livid about. We're gonna go Khem, and we are putting a United player in this because Bruno Fernandes is making a shortlist based on his stats and output from last season. I'm sorry, guys.
Based on you wanting to be involved.
No. Well, yeah, a little bit of that, but also I looked at the old transfer marked and the old foot mob, and I had to crunch numbers, man. He's in there. He's in the top 2 for Khams. And the choice between that was obviously you could have put an Eze who kind of played left-sided 10 or a Cunha who played left-sided 10, but you've had 2 10s in that position. You didn't have a Cam, and Bruno was definitely before and at the beginning part of Amorim, and more of an attacking midfielder. Obviously, he's become a 6 now, but he's in there. And the other one you guys might be angry about, but it's undeniable for his impact, is the lad from Mane, Cole Palmer. He's trademarked the celebration, by the way, so probably need to be careful with that. Respect to Cole. Allow us, please. So the choice is... Yeah, the capes as well, yeah. Fernandes or Cole Palmer? I'll go to you first, Khem, since we went first to Rhys on the last one.
I'll make it quick. Cole Palmer. I can't believe that this other guy's name is being mentioned in here. You guys would have played pro clubs, and if you ever did a drop-in session, you just care about your stats. You could lose 10-1 for all you care, but if you got the goal, you'd be happy with it. That's Bruno Fernandes. Go on, Ray.
I'll make it also quick. Cole Palmer. One, I'm disgusted by the fact that you tried to wing in a guy. The only kind of player, that should be that far down in the table and involved in these kind of discussions, maybe is a goalkeeper who's just been getting like finessed by his lack of defenders. But yeah. And secondly, I'm disgusted because I feel like this decision to include Bruno I feel like that's the real reason that we had to pick between Eza.
Exactly.
No, it's not. It's a position.
I feel like we've done Semenyo dirty. We've done Semenyo dirty.
Nah, it's a position.
That was nasty.
It's a positional thing.
Ice Tray Cold Palmer, please. The Atlanta Hawks point right wing center attacker.
So, it's totally a positional thing. I don't feed into the conspiracy, those watching and listening. But I agree, actually. I'm picking Cole Palmer as well. I'm not deluded, right? Fernandes' stats and the way he dragged the team to Europa League final, pretty much also without Bruno, we may have gone down, mate. Like I think people need to deep that when he's got 20 goals and assists, when we only scored 44 goals in total. You're telling me if you take away his goals or put someone in that's at half the impact, we're not going to be currently playing Bristol City right now. We would be.
I reckon you concede less because you have a midfielder that runs back. Is Morgan Rogers not a Cam?
Nah, Morgan Rogers. No. Morgan Rogers is a Cam, but if you look,
my goodness,
if you look at performances, Morgan Rogers is definitely in the conversation, bro. But he didn't have the same output, not even close. He didn't have the same output, bro. So we can't put Morgan Rogers in there. But I'm gonna go Cole Palmer as well, because for someone that had a drought at period during the season, what he ended up with goals and assists is pretty mad. It's kind of akin to Saka. No, it's akin to Saka on the right wing. For someone who missed a big chunk of the season, his stats and his output are really high.
Rhys probably had to hide his face for a bit. This is a terrible, because you early on when we spoke about midfields, you were like, I'm not going to do any of this modern day work rubbish with CDMs, but we're somehow talking about cams. Just so
you have to have a cam, bro. A cam is different. A CDM and a CM. Come on, man. That didn't exist, right? We've had cams and we've had attacking midfielders for decades. The 6, 8, 10 thing is definitely woke bullshit, right? But cam is not. Come on, man.
We've picked drought and 15th. I can't believe we couldn't find anyone else in that.
Cole Palmer had a better season than Morgan Rogers, bro.
I'd even give it to Bruno Guimaraes just for the sake of it, and he's not even a damn
Bruno doesn't even play 10 though, bro.
Exactly. I'd pick him before flipping Bruno.
Now you're being disrespectful, man.
Even Marmoush is 6 months. I'm giving it to him. This is, oh my goodness.
Nah, you're a disgrace for that. Let's not be even more disrespectful. Let's go on to right wing though, and I'm sure Razor's going to appear magically. So 2 right wingers. I'm going to shout out Kinder Bueno because statistically man's up there, but he's not making it. The 2 obvious right wing choices, even if you look at the last 18 months when Saka's been out for a period, it's Mo and it's Bukayo. So we got to choose, lads. Remember, 18-month window. Who are we picking? Mohamed Salah or Bukayo Saka?
There's a meme I would send for the last 18 months, and it says only Salah. So that's it. Saka's a fantastic player, but he's also didn't he have a drought as well? No.
He got injured, I think is what happened.
But even going back before then as well, he played very well. I think he gets lots of assists. I'll give him his credit for his assists. But the games where the season before last, I'd say, when you were rebattling with City, there were games where you guys didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's where you would look to someone to take over and be a genuine star boy. And when we needed Mo to do that, he done that. So I have to go with him. And that's not even just bias, like the numbers are there. And he was robbed of Ballon d'Or top 3. Saka was never in contention. But he's still a young man. One day he can, but we're basing it off 2025. There's only one guy.
All right, one Salah vote. Razor, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Salah as well. I'm gonna go with Salah. Funnily enough, at the risk of sounding like Khem, I'm gonna go with Salah based on the fact that I do actually think that that's probably, if not the most key player, one of the most key players in Liverpool winning the league last season. I think, like he said, when they needed him to be a game changer, he did that. And even though he hasn't had the greatest start to this season, I think you can still see that that's there in him. I think, like you said, and like we've said a couple of times, it's not a big gap, or it's not like a massive like sort of thing. I think the thing that makes Mo edge it in this situation is that increased availability, the fact he was able to pull them to a win in terms of like silverware, and then also just the fact that like Khem said, when you put the team on your back, I think like it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of responsibility, and only the top players are in like a position to kind of do that.
Yeah, as much as I want to try and advocate for Saka as I can, I think it's Mo. I think it's quite clearly Mo, not in a disrespectful way to Saka, but last season was Van Persie-like in terms of driving your team to a title. I know you had obviously Virgil at the back who had a good season as well. You had plenty of other players that played really well, but the way it was just one man just destroying teams almost single-handedly at times, coming up clutch. That was Mo last season. And he's had very good seasons obviously before that, and this season I'm sure he'll still get G&A, but last season was peak, I think, in terms of the impact he had on the title. I think he won it for you, man. So I think until further notice, it's Mo's position in the league.
He led the league in goals and assists.
Yeah, I think it's clear. I think it's clear that it's Mo for that one. All right, let's go striker. This one probably was more contentious last season before we started this season. It may be a bit more clear cut now, but the two we've got for centre forward are Erling Haaland for Man City and the Swedish rat Alexander Isak for now Liverpool.
The rat now.
No, that's what the Toonami say, allegedly, not me.
Oh,
I don't really give a shit. Swedish rat burger and all that. But yeah, let's get into that one then, Khem. Try and put bias aside. Who are you saying is the best striker? Who's saying is the best striker in the league now?
It's Haaland. He is a absolute bagsman. Isak's had 2 very good years at Newcastle, but Haaland has been exceptional since he was at Red Bull Salzburg, then Dortmund, and then won the treble in his first year with City. And we could call last year a crap year, and I swear he's still like second or third in the scoring charts. Like a bum year for Haaland is like better than other players' best years. So I think you just have to give it to him on that one. And he's Haaland FC right now for Pep, isn't he? So yeah, it's him. And he's also I know it's a Premier League discussion, but he's also bagging for his country, and the other one isn't. So yeah.
All right, one vote for Haaland. Razor, what are you saying on this one, Haaland or Isak?
I think Alexander Isak's a fantastic footballer. I was desperate to get him down to the Emirates when he was in Newcastle. I think like stylistically, especially given the credit, you need to give him credit for the fact of him playing at Newcastle and not really having the world necessarily at his feet in terms of the squad around him. But I think we're being disingenuous if we're picking a striker and it's not Haaland. I think, every metric that you can use to kind of rate strikers, he has like cashed in on it. He just doesn't do it in a very like particularly pretty on the eye way or the way that's expected by a lot of people who are into football. But I think, he's just been devastating. He's breaking every record imaginable. He's on track to be the fastest Prem striker to 100 goals or Prem player to 100 goals ever. And even with City not having like we talked about City not having like a stereotypical City season where they're inevitable. Haaland was still quite inevitable, and he's certainly started off this season feeling quite inevitable. And I think you've just got to give it to him. I don't think there's a lot again in it. I think Isak's an incredible striker, and that's why broken the record transfer fee to bring him to his new club. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if we're talking like last season and this season, I guess there's like an argument you can have both ways about both of them. I think overall, I would say Haaland definitely had a little bit more pressure on him in terms of where he was playing and what was expected from him. And I think he kind of, again, had to put the team on his back. And I think definitely if we're looking at how players have started this season, obviously we know Isak has started, in terms of his personal development and where he wants to play at that level. I think it's been difficult for him because he wasn't able to do preseason. But Haaland is, again, like not even come out of the gate running, like he like landed on one foot and then just started like flapping his arms and flying away. And he looks like set to have another season. Whatever Pep and them lot have got going on, it looks like Haaland he doesn't really give a shit about it. He's just going to do Haaland things. He's just going to bang goals. No Rodri, no problem. De Bruyne gone, no problem. I'm just going to bang goals, innit? Like, get me the ball, I'll bang goals. And yeah, I think there are very few positions in football that have an out-and-out job description that as clear as the number 9. And I think he embodies what you want done there.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Everything you lot said is facts. And I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding around Haaland that maybe even Pep had a little bit. It was just like he's a lot more than he's been allowed to be, I think. Or this season, you've seen signs of more of what we'd seen if you'd watched him at Dortmund or Salzburg. Like he's an unbelievable player on the shoulder, on the last defender. Running into space, his finishing, he basically scores every one-on-one that you see him have. He's just, it's undeniable, man. And I just did a quick search on their stats because that's a good point Razor makes about like last 18 months, maybe comparable last 18 months because of a slight dip in Haaland's output and Isak being the flavour of the month. But Isak played 34 Premier League games. He scored 23 Premier League goals. Haaland played 31 and he scored 22 in a down season. Just deep that. And he scored already, 7, I think, or 8 Premier League goals this season already from the games that he's had. Isak hasn't touched one yet. I know he's barely played, but obviously he's still not even got off the mark in the Prem. I think it's clearly Haaland. But that doesn't mean Isak's not in and around the top 2-3 strikers in the league still. He's still there. But I just think there's actually probably a bigger gap than we might actually think, because Haaland, I think he's going to cook more now than he probably has been allowed to up until now, considering how weak the rest of City's team is. So I think it's definitely Haaland. All right, man. So we've picked the best team. Some contentious positions, but we've got there in the end. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Even Enzo could have been there, man.
Enzo?
Bruno,
come on, man.
You put Bruno in, man. That is
Bruno didn't win, man. Relax and look at the stats, bro. Look at the stats and you'll understand. So I'm going to go through this. You can moan when we get there, but we've got Raya in goal. We've got Gabriel was a bit tricky because some people cut out and things got a bit confusing. But I think Gabriel nicked it. I think it was 2-1 to Gabriel. So yeah,
So
another
wait,
Arsenal
hang on,
player.
sorry, so we just confirming that Saliba's not even the best defender in his own team. Is that what we're saying?
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say because Gabriel's a very good defender, bro.
We're confirming that over the past 18 months, the majority of people on the social media derby think that Gabriel has been marginally better than Saliba and marginally better than Virgil van Dijk. Please continue,
Okay.
Antony.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. You know, we need to wrap this up at some point. Cucurella got left back. Timber has been the best right back. Declan Rice has been the best midfielder. Cole Palmer, best 10, which you guys all, don't agree with. But, we should have had Rhys here, man. I'm pretty sure Rhys would have backed me up on that one. Eza, best left-sided, left winger, left 10. And then Saka. Oh, no, not Saka. I wish. Salah, best right wing. Mo Salah. Relax, Khem. He's there. And then Erling Haaland, best striker. I don't think it's crazy, bro. I don't think it's that mad. Maybe the 10, like you said, you could have chucked Rodgers in there, but even then, the pool was not as good as you guys think. When you look at the stats as well, the two.
I'd say that backs
I
up
know.
his statement. They're the
There is. There's
That's
one,
okay. They are the
2,
favourites.
3, 4, 5 players we've picked from this best 9 positions are Arsenal players.
More than half the
But
team.
I will say in the selection, Liverpool also got 7 or 8 players. You just didn't win the votes. But, sometimes a game's a game.
Also, yeah.
Those are the fine margins that make them the favourites.
Liverpool's, I like I said, I think Liverpool in terms of having a man that's left the country, one, and another man that left the country, you get another 2 players into those things. I didn't make the rules. I would have made man do their last however many months of the season versus
Best keeper, best
whatever.
defender,
Do you know what I'm saying?
best midfielder,
Yeah.
That's right.
best left wing / cam, best right back. Okay, all right.
And on that bombshell, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Super long pod, 2 hours. Internet's been moving mad. For once, not that much me, so thank God. But yeah, we'll end the pod here. Big games this weekend. Come on, United, and I'm sure Razor, you got to be supporting me, bro. We got to get a dub in that match. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Come on, bro.
See you next time.
Come on, man.
Isak in front of the cop.
guys. Peace out. We'll see you guys next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.